Hi, welcome to Anne's Kitchen. It's a beautiful fall day in Southern California, and I'm out here in my herb garden because I'm going to pick a little fresh thyme. Today we'll be making mushroom barley soup. Perfect thing for a fall day. Welcome back inside my kitchen. With the days getting shorter, it's really nice to have something to warm you up and make you feel happy, especially in these times. So today we'll be making mushroom barley soup. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of the ingredients we'll be using, since some of you may not cook with them on a regular basis. The first thing we'll be using, of course, in the mushroom barley soup is the barley. And barley is really a nice grain. This is pearled barley, which means the husks have been removed. And barley, as opposed to something like rice or white pasta, has a lot of good calcium and a lot of good fiber. So it gives us a lot of heartiness to our soup. The second thing, main ingredient in the mushroom barley soup, will be our mushrooms. I'm going to be using these nice crimini mushrooms, but you're welcome to use the regular white button mushrooms. We're going to need about a pound of those. And we will also be using a second type. And if you're not familiar with these are called shitake mushrooms. This is a dried shiitake, which I prefer to use for this recipe as opposed to the fresh shiitakes. We're going to be soaking them and using the water that we soak them in. Shiitake mushrooms are grown primarily in Japan, about 83% of them, and they're really prized as a fungus for their dark, meaty texture. And in a lot of Chinese traditions, they're used in recipes to help promote longevity, and immunity, and good health, which we could all use a little bit of right now. The other main things we'll be using is we will need 3 quarts of a good chicken stock. You're welcome to make your own. Today I'm going to be using this Better Than Bouillon, which I find to be a very good product. If you're vegetarian, you can use the vegetarian base. If you prefer beef, you can use a beef base. I'm going to be using chicken today. And the last thing we'll be using in our recipe is what's called a mirepoix. And basically that's a fancy name for onion, carrot, and celery, which has been diced up and sauteed and put into our soup. And you'll find that's a very common thing to use in most soups and stews. I like to use the tops of the celery as well, so don't be afraid to throw those in your soup. They give it a lot of rich flavor. And with that, I think we're ready to begin. Here in the pot, we have boiling 3 quarts of broth. And how I made mine, as I mentioned previously, I took 12 cups of water and 12 teaspoons of my Better Than Bouillon chicken broth. And I put those in the pot and brought it to a boil. And now we're ready. I'll get myself a spoon here. We're now ready to put our beautiful pearl barley into the soup. Just like so. Give it a quick stir. And we're going to add 2 bay leaves. And you can find these in any grocery store. 1, 2. And it's as simple as that. We're now going to turn our temperature down to a simmer. Okay, our next step is to take our shiitake mushrooms, the dried mushrooms. I put 3 cups of water into a saucepan, and I just put the dried mushrooms just like that. We're going to bring this to a boil, and as soon as it does, we're going to turn off the flame and let them sit for 20 minutes. Okay, our shiitake mushrooms have come to a boil, and turn that flame off. It's as simple as that. And we're gonna let those soak for 20 minutes. Okay, with our soup underway, you can join me over here at the chopping block. This is really the only part of the recipe that takes any time. What we'll be doing is just dicing our carrot, our celery, and our onion, and making nice slices on our tomato. So go ahead and start. I'll show you about the size of the dice here so you can get the idea. And we'll just slice and dice here. Okay, so we're gonna need 1 cup total. So here we have our celery. You don't have to be overly precise on this, but about 1 cup works well. Now we'll do the same thing with our carrot and our onion. Okay, that should be about 1 cup, more or less. We'll put those in. And lastly, my least favorite part, chopping our nice 1 large onion. Now, if I had my granddaughter here, we'd be singing our song, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. And I will be boo-hooing any minute now, so it's probably appropriate. Okay. Boo! Here goes our onion. Okay. Our mirepoix is set. Okay, we've done our dicing. Now we're doing our slicing. For those of you that haven't worked with mushrooms before, when you take them out of the package, I don't recommend that you go over to the sink and drown them. The best way to clean a mushroom is simply to take a paper towel, give it a little wipe until it's clean, and then we're ready to slice. I've already done that with the rest of them here, so we're just gonna go like so. And we have beautiful, nice mushrooms, and I'm gonna finish up with the rest of these. Okay, that's the mushrooms. I found these were a little large, so I went ahead and cut them in half. They're all set to go. Okay, it's been 20 minutes that our shiitake mushrooms have been soaking. So we're gonna go ahead and go get those. We're gonna strain them, but we wanna keep this lovely shiitake mushroom liquid that it's made, so don't strain that down the drain. What I've done is taken a paper filter, put it inside a strainer, and just like so. You can see we have the lovely mushroom liquid, and we will take our shiitake mushrooms, and we're just going to dice those up. And you'll see they have a much different texture. They're just lovely. I think you'll really enjoy this. Okay, we'll finish chopping these and we're ready to put the mirepoix on our burden. Okay, we're ready to saute. We've warmed up our pan a little bit. Get a nice large skillet. And we'll put about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Prefer that. And get a little warm. And we'll put in our onion a little bit before the rest. You don't want it so that the onion burns, just so that it just starts to caramelize and get a little bit soft here. Our onions are just getting nice and soft on that medium heat. We're going to add our carrots and our celery, and we're going to let that continue to cook for about 5 minutes. In about 5 minutes, and all of our lovely vegetables are softening nicely. Now it's time to add our 2 cloves of garlic. I'm using fresh, but you can use whatever. Oh, it's a nice tough piece here. I want to crush. Pause. Okay. Oh my goodness. You can tell a weakling. I can't seem to get this garlic. Maybe I should have used the refrigerated variety. Here we go. Okay, with a little help from the technical producer husband, we have our garlic. Stir that right in. And we're going to get our shiitake mushrooms that have been nice and chopped up. Into the pan they go. Give it a stir. We're going to let that sit about 2 minutes just to get the garlic flavor. Oh, the kitchen's starting to smell good. I do like the smell of garlic. Okay, it's been 2 minutes now with our garlic. We're going to add our strained shiitake mushroom broth. We're going to let that come to a boil for 2 minutes. Turn up the heat a little bit here. Okay, give that 2 minutes. Now all we're going to do is take our pan. Might need a second pot holder. And put that right into our soup. Okay, now we're ready for the last step. Really even need to clean the pan. We can just move right along. We're going to get 1 more tablespoon, excuse me, of our olive oil. Let that heat up a minute. And we're going to take our sliced mushrooms and we're going to give them a toast in the pan. And the reason for that is to bring out that lovely nutty flavor of the mushroom. And we'll go in here. No, where is our salt and pepper? Found the salt and pepper. So what we'll do is we're going to do the mushrooms in 2 batches because what we want to do, we don't want to keep tossing them. Just want them to get nice and toasty in here. Spread them in our pan. I'm going to let those toast for about 2 minutes. At this point, I'm just going to add our pepper and salt. Give them a stir for about another minute. And we're going to do the same thing with the remaining mushrooms. Okay, and take these mushrooms, add those to our soup. Just quite a bit of oil, put a little drizzle in here. And we'll toast our second half. Toasted mushroom. My house smells wonderful. And give that a stir. And last but not least, I'm going to take the thyme from my garden, but you are welcome to use dried thyme if you don't live somewhere that's sunny year round. And I'm going to put that into the pot. And we're going to let everything continue to simmer here. It looks like about another hour and a half or so, and we'll be ready to eat. Welcome back. And it's been a little over 2 hours, and I think our soup is just about done. Let's take a look and see. As it was cooking, it began to get very thick, which is what happens when the pearl barley expands. So I added an extra half cup of water, but you go ahead and make it to the consistency that you like. First thing we'll do is we'll do a final taste. We want to make sure if we need to do any adjustments, a little salt, a little pepper. Just perfect. Okay. And if you remember, we put in some lovely fresh thyme. We're going to go ahead and remove that. And we have a bay leaf floating somewhere. Ah, two of them I left out. I found them both. And we'll put that here. Okay, now we're ready to plate this up. And take a look at that. Just look. Is that lovely? You can see we have a very large pot here. And for tonight's dinner, I always like having a little wine with dinner. I've chosen a Russian River Valley, Sonoma County Pinot Noir. This is a very hearty, rich soup, and it'll stand up very nicely to this red wine. You have a loaf of bread, and that's pretty much all you need for this meal. I think the nicest part is it made so much, and at this time of year when we really can't be near our friends and family as much as we'd like to, it's just a great way to share the warmest part of yourself, a homemade soup. So with that being said, have a wonderful fall season. This is Anne's Kitchen. Bon appetit.
Only little petunia and an onion patch, an onion patch and an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. Boo, 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 boo.